Welcome, everyone. If you want to manifest anything that you want, listen to this live because we're going to be talking about the power of awareness. We need awareness in order to be able to consciously bring in the things that we truly want. We're going to talk a little bit about the inner work. So we have two books. Neville Goddard's Bible, which is called Neville Goddard, The Complete Collection. And I read somewhere, just in like a comment thing, about the power of awareness, reading the book The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and then rereading it again, and then rereading it again. I'm like, what's so important about the power of awareness? So I started to read. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Because I've read bits and pieces of all of his books. Because whenever I read books, I don't read them cover to cover. I open the book and I read it, and then I, put it down and find another book. So when we're talking about the law of assumption, which is what I discuss whenever we're here. Before I say that, I wanted to wish one of my dearest friends, Jeremy Luke, who is an incredibly talented actor, a very happy birthday. It was yesterday, and he texted me like 1 o'clock in the morning here. He's like, so where's my birthday present? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot. So I just wanted to give him a shout here because he's an amazing person, and he is probably the funniest person that I actually know. So we're talking about manifesting anything that you want. We manifest through the law of assumption. From my studying the law of assumption. What is the law of assumption? The law of assumption is assuming that which you believe to be true. You're assuming. I assume I'm going to lose my job. I assume this person's never going to be loving to me. I assume that I'm always treated like shit. And even though you're not consciously, some of us are consciously thinking these things, but it's in our subconscious programming of where that really all comes from. Why do you believe that someone's always going to leave you or not treat you right? Why do you believe that you're not good enough to keep your job? Why do you believe that you'll never be able to lose that weight? Thank you, Jewel. Why do we believe that we're never going to have enough money? I did this with Julie that I work with. I've been working with her for 5 years, and her and I were on the phone one day, and we were walking backwards of all the ways or where that her one belief came from. And we figured it out on that phone call. So that's part of your I amness. The law of assumption and your I amness are all one, actually. Why is your I amness so important? I am are two of the most important words for what you say after them is what your life becomes. What is your I am? I want you guys to participate in this morning. Write in the comment section, what is your I am? I don't want the positive ones. I don't want the ones that we wish for or hope for. I'm happy. I am loving. Like, let's be real. Mine was for a long time, I am always in pain. Mine was for a really long time, I am not perfect enough. What is your I amness? I'm giving you my examples. I'm still a perfectionist, psychopath. But what is your I amness? Because when you discover what that is, then you have to discover also, where did that come from? I am not chosen. I am not lovable. I am not able to speak. I am not worthy. Let's start seeing some of your... Thank you. I am unworthy. Christy says, I am unworthy. So from that statement is the manifestation of everything else in life. So say your I am is I am not worthy. Or I am unworthy. You'll manifest I am too woo-woo. I am not worthy, or I am unworthy. You will manifest that through your relationships. You will manifest that through the house that you live in. You will manifest that through the experiences that you have in life. I am overlooked. Again, from those core beliefs comes assumptions after that. So if you look at I am overlooked, maybe you're going to this interview for your dream job. They pick someone else. You were qualified. You were more qualified for the job, but for some reason, they pick someone else. I am overlooked. And you'll continue to manifest these type of scenarios through that. I am forgotten. Guys, you are being so honest this morning. I love it. I am a procrastinator. I am stuck. I am not accepted. I am taken for granted. These are all amazing examples of how we live through life. And then I want each of you that is participating in this to think about or write down, I am stuck. So write down all of the things in your life that prove to you that you are stuck. I am forgotten. Write down all of the scenarios in your life that prove that you are forgotten. I am in pain. Write down every day the scenarios that happen to you that you are in pain. Because I can tell you when that was my I am always in pain. I was always in pain. Nerve pain, migraines, couldn't tilt my neck backwards, sideways, lower back pain, hip pain, high hamstring pain, shin pain, sometimes knee pain, sometimes ligaments on my inner knees if I walk too much pain. I had all these, Lady Lib, good morning, Mama. I had all these chronic ailments because every day of my professional dance career, I believed that in order for me to dance, I was going to be in pain. And that happened for years and years and years. Until I understood this work. Until I understand I was always this sick girl. Libby said, I am always sick. I am sick. I am so sick. And that becomes, these things become our story to ourselves. But they also become our destiny. They also become the end goal, even though we don't understand that that's what is happening. If we say, I am always sick, or I am so sick, oh my God, I'm so sick today, those matching energies will only come back to find you. I am always forgotten. There will always be scenarios in your life that prove to you that you are always forgotten. Until we are identifying the I am that lives within us. And that's the only way that we could change it, because it's just a shift of energy. I always talk about a radio station. If it's programmed to 102.1 and you want to listen to pop music, but you're sick of pop music and you want to listen to classical, no matter what you say and scream at your radio station that you want to listen to classical, if you're on 102.1 vibration, that's the only music that can come through. You have to change the channel to get to listen to classical music. So if you're on 102.1 and you're, I am always forgotten, and you want to be chosen, no matter how much you yell at that radio station, you're always going to be forgotten. Until you change the channel. Until you change the frequency and the energy of that. I am always chosen. Everybody chooses me for everything. I have so many friends. I have amazing relationships. I have a great job. Patch with Jen is, I'm afraid of failure. So if we say, I'm afraid I'm going to fail, you probably won't start many things. Because you're just afraid that you're going to fail. But the opposite side of that is, if I don't do anything, I won't have anything. If I do something, and maybe I'm not the best at it, and I continue to keep going and going and going, I'll realize, well, it wasn't really that hard to begin with. I'm actually better at this than I thought. What we tell ourselves to be true that actually isn't true, when we actually get on the other side of that, we're just like, I wasted so much time not doing X, Y, and Z. I wasted so much time thinking that no one liked me. I wasted so much time not using my voice because I thought that people would find me annoying. Somebody in here, I don't know if it was Amy or who it was, but her I am was, I am annoying. Because her mother would always tell her when she was little, I'm annoying, that you're annoying. So if your I amness is, I am annoying, you're not living your greatest and expansive life because you're afraid that you're going to be annoying to everyone. I'm annoying to a lot of people because I am relentless. There's an I am for me. I am relentless. So in order to manifest anything that we want, we have to figure out what our I amness is, because that is your block. That little tiny sentence, I am unworthy. That is your block to everything. That is your stop sign standing in front of you every single minute of your day. I am not chosen. I am not ready. Yeah, I'm just not ready for a relationship. And then you wonder why you're single. I am not ready for a relationship. So even if you do find someone that you really, really like, maybe they screw you over. You said you resonate with, I am not ready for a relationship. But underneath of that, what does that actually mean? I'm just not ready for a relationship. Underneath of that, I am not worthy. I am always alone. I'm not lovable. Because there is no being ready for anything. Underneath of those words are something else. That's why we resonate with you, because you're relentless. So where are we? Okay, we're going to read a little bit from the inner work, and then we're going to go to the power of awareness with Neville. Hold on one second. Oops. Okay. That's not it. I have my little post-it notes now, and I use them for everything. Accepting more for yourself. There are no boundaries to your happiness, divine abilities, and expressions of gratitude if you only surrender resistance to accepting this truth. No one has more access to happiness, divine creativity, or greatness than you do. We all share an equal access to infinite joy, fulfillment, and peace. There is nothing actually to change, fix, or do out there in the world in order to actualize your happiness. The real solutions are all within you. You only need to allow them to come to you. You are the one in control of how much you resist or how much you receive. Nothing else needs to change but yourself. If you're not receiving the things that you want to in life, it's because you're not allowing them to come through. And hopefully after today, I will allow a huge block to go. Because why? It's hindering my greatest expansiveness. And I am aware of that. And there's been so many different roadblocks with this scenario. But I know that that's not my desired end. So the law of assumption, Neville teaches you, if it's not your desired end goal, then it is not the end. And we talked about the bridge of incidents on Friday, maybe, or last Monday. The bridge of incidents is all the crazy shit that happens in between you and your manifestation. So you can quit and give up and say, I knew this wasn't going to work. Nothing ever works out for me, blah, blah, blah. Or you could just say, it's not my desired end. This is not my desired end, so therefore I have to have faith that everything works out perfectly for me. Things work out perfect, better than I could have ever even imagined, is what I'm saying. When we resist our lives, we create greater separation from the truth of who we really are. The more separate we feel from our true self of love and joy, the more powerless we feel. And the more powerless we feel, the more we suffer. There was another book that I was reading. Who knows what it was called? It's in my Kindle somewhere. But every solution for this person that wrote this book was to love more. That's a difficult thing for probably all of us. When there is a situation that's not favorable to us, she says, just love more. Find something to love. Find something to give more love to. Just love more. When shit is hitting the fan in your life, just find something or someone to love more. If someone is treating you horribly, send them the vibration of love. Now there's a challenge. Because why? Why do we want to do that? Someone that is a thorn in our side, someone that we can't stand, someone that we broke up with, someone that does something rude to us. Send them the vibration of love. Who wants to hear that one? When I read it, I'm just like, oh, no, 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 no. But when you understand why you're doing those things, it's because it's changing your vibration. Because if you're in the vibration of anger and pride and fuck this person and I'm not going to, this person will see, I'll never talk to them again, blah, blah, blah. That's all that it is noise. Low vibrational noise. But when you change your vibration to the vibration of love, everything else starts to shift. Because then you realize, I really, really don't need to be this angry about this. So I'm going to wrap it up with love wrapping paper and send it on its way. I've been doing that a lot lately, and it does raise your vibration. PJ says, because if we create resistance to them, we create resistance within ourselves. Because everything is a mirror to us. So when we think that we're being spiteful or we're being prideful and I'm never talking to this person again, you're the one that lives with that. The other person can go on their merry way and forget you ever existed. And you're like, I'll never talk to this person again, and I'll show this person. And they don't even remember that you're alive. That's kind of not a nice thing to say, but that's the truth, is that does happen. So sending out the vibration of love rather than the vibration of anger and rage and hate. I mean, think of what a difference that makes. If you're sending out hate because you just want to be right, or your ego is saying to do this and do that, it is keeping you in a low vibrational state. So how are you ever going to manifest anything that you want when most of your day is spent being angry at someone, being jealous of someone, being in a state of lack? It's not going to happen. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but it is not going to happen. I got my little tabs. Okay, now we're going to Nev. We're going to, let's see, the power of awareness. Chapter 1 is I am. The power of awareness, 1952, in case you were wondering. Consciousness is the one and only reality. Not figuratively, but actually. Consciousness in here. What's up, ninja? This reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened unto a stream which is divided into two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. In order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, it is necessary to understand the relationship between the conscious mind and the subconscious. The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect. The subconscious is the realm of cause. The conscious is male. The subconscious is female. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. So it's like you're making pancakes. First couple times you don't know how to make the pancakes. And then after, you just don't even have to look at the recipe. You just make them. Your repetition, your conscious actions impress the subconscious mind. Like riding a bike. You didn't just get on a bike and you rode off. You got on the bike, you fell over, you were afraid, you didn't know how to pedal, you were shaky. How did you eventually learn how to ride a bike? If I got on a bike right now, I haven't been on a bike in I don't know how many years, I would still know how to ride the bike because it's in my subconscious mind. It's like your ABCs. You don't teach a baby ABCD until A to Z the first time and they remember it. It is repetition. So you're consciously learning A, B, C, D, and then you have to do it over and over again. That's the conscious mind. Once you learn those ABCs, you will know those ABCs until the day you die. Why? Because it is stored in the subconscious mind. So if when you were a child, your parent or your caretaker always said, oh, you're so fat, you're so chubby, look how chubby you are, look how chubby you are, look how chubby you are, even though they weren't saying it to hurt your feelings, maybe to you, you internalize that. And over and over again, oh, look at these chubby cheeks, look how cute your chubby legs are. Something that insignificant that was said to you repeatedly then impresses upon your subconscious mind. So you always come from the I am of, I'm not good enough. I am always fat. Whatever that becomes. And then you literally live with that the rest of your life unless you change it. Because for some kids, like, that's really damaging to them. Like, I'm not good enough because you're telling me that I'm chubby. Whatever you internalize and turn that I amness into, you then live from, because this subconscious, just like your computer, it'll store your photos till the end of time until you delete them. So the subconscious is storing that information and that belief until you delete that belief and you replace it with something else. I am worthy of all things. I have the most amazing body. Maybe you had weight issues your entire life because of some small comment that happened to you when you were a child. Why? Because it is impressed into the subconscious mind. It is your supercomputer. And unless you delete that file is always running in the background. And that file, that I am chubby, which translated to I am not worthy, or I am not pretty enough, or I am not cute enough, or I am not handsome enough, whatever it is, that's always running in the background. And that program running has a vibration attached to it. So that vibration is always finding like things to attract to you that prove to you, I am unworthy. I am so chubby. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. So, okay. By this law, first conceiving an idea and then impressing the idea conceived on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness. It's crazy how something so small can create a web of insecurities because it's impressed upon the subconscious mind. That supercomputer. Sorry, guys. One moment. Okay. Okay. Let's switch to the other page. I'm gonna beat him. Chapter 3 is the power of assumption. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. But let's just go back to, it's crazy how something so small can create a web of insecurities. Because we don't understand that our I amness becomes literally what we are. Because words cast spells. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. I always go back to the day that I smashed my Mercedes. I was going to get gas at the same gas station I always go to every single week in Los Angeles on Beverly Boulevard. 3rd or Beverly, I don't remember which one. I think it was Beverly Boulevard. Go to this gas station all the time. Got in a fight with somebody, one person that was supposed to be one of my really good friends, and this person was just whatever the scenario was. But I was so annoyed. I was going to get my facial. I was driving to Woodland Hills, 40 minutes away, to go get a facial, and I had to get gas because I constantly drive on E. Went to turn into the gas station, and I was just so annoyed. I kept on replaying over and over again the scenario. I was replaying what I said to this person. I was so mad. Turned into the gas station, and I jolted forward, and I was like, oh my God. Turned around, I thought someone rear-ended me. I smashed into the high red curbs in Los Angeles. They're probably about a foot high. Yeah, they're probably about a foot high or higher. Red, painted red. I smashed right into the curb. So I was like, I was so mad. Backed up, pulled into the actual driveway, into the gas station, and there was liquid like leaking from the bottom of my car. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I had to cancel my facial. Had to take the car to get fixed. I did $8,000 worth of damage. So that's just an example of how our vibration attracts the things that happen to us in our life. So your anger, your rage, you think it's only going towards that person, but it's attracting everything else around you. Everything around you. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. My state of consciousness was anger and rage that day. I was so mad at this person. And I kept going over in my mind what this person said to me. And then I smashed my car. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And there are many people that live like this their entire lives and wonder why their lives are shit. People in my family that hold grudges against their own family members for 10, 20, 30 years that haven't spoken to each other. And they live from that state of consciousness every single day. And they live miserably. And they think that they're spiting the other person. All that befalls a man, all that is done by him, all that comes from him, happens as a result of his state of consciousness. A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves, all that he believes is true and consents to. That is why a change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. Rain falls as a result of a change in the temperature in the higher regions of the atmosphere. So, in like manner, a change of circumstance happens as a result of a change in your state of consciousness. Literally, something similar happened to me. I was really frustrated while driving on 95 and a pebble flew and cracked my windshield. That's the way that it goes. And it gives you more things to be angry and upset and rageful about. And then the rest of your day just snowballs in that fashion. The name of the book is, this is The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's Romans 12:2. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When we renew our mind with different thoughts, we call in different things because it's the law of vibration. If we want to transform anything, it is transforming the mind first, and then everything outside follows. To be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. But your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas, for you think from your ideas. All transformation begins with an intense burning desire to be transformed. The first step in the renewing of the mind is desire. You must want to be different and intend to be before you can begin to change yourself. Then you must make your future dream a present fact. That all comes from your mind. That is the law of assumption. You're assuming the desire to already be true. Yes, it's called being delusional. But you see something in your mind, like I created in my mind, I saw this really cute sweat outfit. I'm like, I need to make this. So in my mind, it happened first. Then I got out my sketch pad and I started to draw it. And then from my sketch pad, I drew it from my mind. I found a fashion illustrator. I had the fashion illustrator make it up. From the fashion illustrator, I sent it to a clothing manufacturer. From the clothing, thank you for putting that up there. From the clothing manufacturer, I ordered the outfit. From there, they mailed it to me. I now physically have an outfit. Where did it originate from? My head. That couldn't appear to me if I didn't make it myself. That's how the rest of everything happens. It happens as an idea first. It happens as a desire first. And then it becomes a reality. If you see it through. If you allow other people. If you allow other people to tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that, you'll never make it. I'll give you an example. I think Taku was in here. Taku, are you still in here? I think I saw your name. Let me see. Yeah, it's Taku. I don't know if you're still in here. Taku, incredible musician. Someone could have told him when he was little, like, you're good, but you're not good enough. You're never going to make it in the industry. It's too hard of an industry to get into. Yeah, you're good, but you know what? It's just like there's a lot of competition and, you should just think of something else. If he would have listened to someone else and not his own dreams and desires in his consciousness, he would have never became a professional musician. He's played for the biggest bands in the world and musicians. The only person that could take yourself, but if you allow other people to do it, then they also have the power to do that too. Does seeing it and writing it down go hand in hand? Yes. And people always say, write things down in your handwriting. Don't type it on your phone. Write it down on a piece of paper with your own handwriting, with your own energy being written. Writing it down is great because you're consciously doing that action and writing down those meaningful words. But also, the visualization is number one. Writing it down could be number 2 or 3 or 4. Then you have your affirmations that you can do. But once you start to rewire your mind to a specific thought, at first it seems foreign. At first it seems like, oh my God, you're just really crazy. Like, stop saying these things, like you're a nut. And you feel crazy because you're so far from that reality. But the more you start to say it, you're impressing the subconscious like your ABCs. At first, your ABCs were so foreign because you're like, I don't know what comes after that. How do I do this? It's too hard. At first, the first time you rode a bike, you're like, oh my God, I'm scared. I'm going to fall. Please don't let me fall. And then after you learned your ABCs and after you learned how to ride the bike, you don't even think about how you're doing it. It just happens. So the more that you impress your subconscious with an idea, the more normal it becomes. Even if it's something so outlandish that maybe you have $5 in your bank account, you're like, I'm a multimillionaire. How many success stories do you read like that? How many success stories do you read of someone that came from a dirt poor country with nothing? They became a millionaire and a billionaire. Did they just get lucky? Or did they rehearse these things? Did they rehearse these things in their mind over and over and over again until it became a reality? We just have to go to rehearsal every day. We have to show up for ourselves in our own mind every single day. And rehearse and rehearse. Rehearse your wedding day. Rehearse it every day. Even though maybe you don't even have anybody in your life, even though maybe you just got broken up with, you rehearse it every day. So many of these professional athletes or, actors like Jim Carrey talks about, he would go to the top of Mulholland. I think it was Mulholland, and he would sit there every single night and he would visualize winning an award. He wrote himself a $10 million check and said, I'm going to have this. He was living in his car. So we have to show up for rehearsal every day. We have to know what we're rehearsing. What are we asking for? If you could have anything you want, what are you asking for? And then you have to rehearse that. That's true right here. Printing images and putting them on a board helps too. That's a vision board. Put visualizations wherever. Cut out your car and stick it everywhere that you are. Your dream car or whatever it is that you want. I told you guys this last week. The background of my phone, the wallpaper, is my vision board. Every time I open my phone, it's right there. I think I need to update it, even though I just did it like the beginning of the year. The ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for an incarnation, but unless you yourself offer it in human parentage, it is incapable of birth. Therefore, your attitude should be one in which, having desired to express a higher state, you alone accept the task of incarnating this new and greater value of yourself. In giving birth to your ideal, you must bear in mind that the methods of mental and spiritual knowledge are entirely different. This is a point that is truly understood by probably not more than one person in a million. You know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, but comparing it with other things, by analyzing it and defining it, by thinking of it. Whereas you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it. You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it. You must be like the moth in search of his idol, the flame, who spurred with true desire, plunging at once into the sacred fire, folded his wings within till he became one color and one substance with the flame. It's becoming. Faking it till you make it. It's seeing yourself as though you are already that which you want to be. It is the rehearsal. Every day it is the rehearsal. It's getting into the habit of rehearsing. It's not always easy. But if you want this life to unfold in the way that you do, it's showing up for yourself every day. So that you can see all the things that you want in your mind, and then eventually they show up. and staying faithful to that thought and desire. Because most people think that it's too good to be true. I can never have the things that I want because your subconscious programming, your I am, tells you I am not worthy. I am not listened to. I am not paid attention to. I am always in pain. Whatever your story is. Yes. Thank you all for participating earlier in your I amness, because it's so important to give other people examples of what that even means, because most people don't. When you want to manifest another person, won't that be hard because they have free will? There's a lot of discussion about this. And your reality is your reality. There are a million different versions of, or timelines, I should say, that you could be tapping into at any time. So a lot of the teachings are that no one has free will in your reality because it's your reality. Maybe the person that you are manifesting is on another timeline where you don't even exist. But in your timeline, they sure as shit exist. In your timeline, you're married to that person. In your timeline, everything works out perfectly for you because this is your timeline. If there are thousands or millions of timelines that simultaneously exist, and they're all slightly different to each other, why does it matter? If you are calling this person in with this person, we're talking about free will. This is your movie. This is my movie. And that makes the most sense to me, is that if there are an indefinite number of timelines that you can shift onto, then I can have whatever I want in mine. In my desired timeline, this is what I have and this is who's in it. Because we are the writer, director, star of our movie. So free will, I would argue that free will doesn't have anything to do with someone else's reality, because you're just creating the reality that you want. Joe Astrid. So a lot of people argue about the free will stuff, but that makes the most sense to me. If there are just infinite amount of timelines, I'm tapping into the timeline where I'm with this person. In their own reality, they have free will to do whatever the hell they want. Maybe in this version, I am with them. Maybe in their version of their reality, they are with somebody else on another timeline. Just like people talk about the whole Trump thing. It's like, oh, we switched timelines. But in someone else's reality, they're still living in hell. But in the reality that I'm in, as far as that's all concerned, like none of that even exists to me. It's like I'm outside and there's a snow globe that I'm holding and I'm watching everything that's going on in the snow globe, but I'm not affected by it. I'm not affected by anything politically that happens. I'll read about it just to stay in the know, but I am not affected by it at all. Therefore, I don't even have anger about it anymore. 2020, I was angry. I was rageful. And I had these crazy videos that kept going viral. But now you can't pay me to get mad about anything. Joe, if you're on a different timeline, it doesn't affect you though. So if you're living in the timeline where all these things are happening, then you're going to experience that. But I don't live on that timeline. And it doesn't mean that I don't help people that are in need on my timeline. It just means I'm on the outside looking in of these things. And so many people are still on the inside, looking on the inside, experiencing it. Grand Rising, Chris. But I'm not there. So I can't experience that. So if all of us are here at the same time, but we're experiencing different timelines, Carrie, there's no blowers. But what I'm saying is, if we're all here at the same time on different timelines, like I said, you can be standing next to a person in line at a store, and they are like, oh my God, I hate this store. I hope it blows up. And you're just like, oh my God, I love this store. I always find all the things I need here. You're on a different timeline. Reminds me of like alternate universe, and whenever you visualize, it's taking you to that universe. That's literally, it's taking you to that timeline where those things exist, where that vibration is what you're attracting. No, Chris, I actually have a meeting possibly today or tomorrow with a retreat center in Puerto Rico. This place is beautiful. So I'm working on that retreat, but I'm blown away by this place. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm supposed to have a meeting today or tomorrow. We haven't actually finalized it yet. We got to actually respond to them. So I intended this was super helpful and a great way to start our week, our Monday, and that we get into the right mindset, that we could tap into the right timelines that suit the things that we really love and desire and want. So, yes, I will repost this. I'm working on my manifestation ebook, but it has to be me, and it's just taking me long because I just can't get creative enough with certain things. So I will chat with you guys this week. I'll be back on Wednesday night, and I'm sending you all lots of love, and I will see you this week.